NBA draft lottery, top three picks. So, recently they just had the NBA lottery, and I'm just gonna do a little quick coverage of just the top three teams and the picks that are being mocked for the players who are supposed to be going in those positions. And so right, the Spurs got number one. Uh, Charlotte Hornets got number two draft pick, and Portland Trailblazers got the number three draft choice. And currently, in terms of the mock draft, you have Victor Wembanyama going number one to San Antonio Spurs, and Brandon Miller going number two to Charlotte Hornets, and then Scoot Henderson going number three to Portland Trail Blazers. Um, this is according to the NBA Draft.net mock draft that I've seen, and I've kind of done, I've seen, highlights, and obviously there's been, you know, dating back to even last season of the NBA of, the Victor Wembanyama and who he is as a player and his talent, and he's one of he's a unicorn prospect, without a doubt, very unique as a player. Um, there's been similar size built players like him, but those players who have been similarly built like him don't have the same skill set. And so that's what makes him so unique as a player, is because his size, athleticism, and then his skill set that comes with his size. And that's what makes him so unique. His athleticism, his agileness, um, really make him unique as a player. And I think that's what most people recognize about him. Um, you know, I think he has a chance to be a very unique player and a great player in this league. Just, his main thing would have to be just staying healthy, you know, being committed to getting better, getting stronger, getting in the weight room, and just developing, because he has the skill sets and, talents and all that. And he just needs to develop that. The NBA has been marketing him. They want him to be the next. He's one of the main, the next star of this league. And he can be that. I think if he just continues to, get better, stay committed to the craft, he definitely got a chance to be a a superstar in this league, in my opinion. And so, I've seen some interviews and videos of him. He seems like a good kid and just a kid who just wants to hoop. So that's the type of mentality that you need, that you want as a franchise, a guy who wants to hoop and be committed to the craft. And so um, yeah, and then uh, you have at number two, Brandon Miller. He's supposed to be the guy. I haven't, I was he went to Alabama. Alabama had a pretty good year. He was best player. Didn't watch him too much closely, but I'm aware of who he is, and I've seen the NBA mock draft. His game is very similar to. They compared him very similar to like a Paul George style of play. His game, that's always good. So it's about 6'9", being forward player, and Charlotte Hornets. They could need that. They could use that. You know, to pair. You know, in the front court. There's still. I don't know what they're gonna specifically do in terms of the Miles Bridges situation, but he could be, I guess, the person who comes and fills that role that Miles was playing, or I think it'd be good to have both of them on the team, but the Charlotte definitely needs some size, some scoring on that roster to help with LaMelo Ball. He's a good point guard, great young point guard. To me, one of my favorite guys to watch in this league. LaMelo Ball, super creative, and I just like his energy on the court. And but they need guys that he can facilitate to get easy shots, you know, stuff like that. So they like I said, they need some scoring, and hopefully, if they can get him, he can help with that. And so that'll be a good look. And then lastly, with the Portland Trailblazers, Mock's supposed to have Scoot Henderson go there. Um, obviously when you're talking about the Portland Trailblazers situation, they got Dame right now at the one, Simons. But there's been talks about, is it time to rebuild for that Portland Trailblazers team? Is it time for Dame to, move on and go to a franchise that's a winning a championship or bust type of team, like winner now type of situation? And Dame's a winner. I know he wants to compete at the highest level, but he is a committed guy, and he's a loyal guy, and I know he wants to be in Portland Trailblazer, but it is a business, and Portland has to make a business decision, and he as well. So, do obviously, you understand what Dame has done for the franchise, and he's been Hall of Famer, had a Hall of Fame career, but it's time to rebuild and bring in this new point guard and who can maybe, just give a whole new, start of the future, so to speak, and just rebuild. I think it might be time for them. You know what I mean? This is a good opportunity to rebuild. You have Anthony Simons, who's been in the league for a couple of years. He's showing he can be a scorer in this league, averages 20 points. You got Jeremy Grant, who's been in this league for some time, knows the ropes. Can be one of the top, probably with top 3 scoring options on that team. And got a young nucleus, and so you add Scoot Henderson to add and build for the future. He's a point guard I've seen him play, and he plays with a lot of flair and energy, and I like his style and creativity and all that. So I think it'd be a good time to, finally make that, decision to, start building for the future, bring in Scoot Henderson, maybe trade Dame, get some pieces, get some draft picks, I don't know, and just start building for the future. And I think, to me, that's where the direction I would go, because I don't think keeping Dame around is gonna, they're gonna win, do any damage in the playoffs. At best they make it playoff, play in or something. They ain't gonna really do anything in the playoffs. And so, like I said, it might be that time for them to, rebuild and, start young and, all that. So, yeah, so that's just my perspective. And so we'll see. Draft shit is next month, and might make some more in depth, just talking more in depth about the draft as it comes. And so, yeah,